Hey guys, welcome to Selenium with Java August 2022 batch online training session 2. In first session you already know the concept of automation, how to proceed in the automation, what is the prerequisite to start the automation, what is the automation life cycle, right? And you already get to know how to set up, right, to start with Selenium WebDriver, and then what are the different element locator technique, what are the different operations you can perform on web edit box, right, on the browser as well, right? But in today you will learn what are the different operations we can perform on images, checkbox, radio button, and drop down or select box, and how we can scroll down or scroll up the web page, and the complete study of, right, CSS selector and the XPath. In case you are unable to find any tag or sorry any element locator like name, XPath, sorry name, link text, partial link text, class, ID, or maybe those are available, but with those things, right, you are not able to identify the element, right, uniquely, or some other challenges there, then you can create your own XPath or customized CSS selector, and with the help of that, right, you can identify the element. So element identification is the first and foremost thing. Once you are able to identify the element, then you can definitely perform the different operations based on your requirement, guys. So in the first session you already see, right, what are the different operations we can perform on the web edit box. So similarly also, right, in the web edit box you can get attribute of the different kind of properties, right, different element attribute value kind, right. So images also, sometimes there can be multi images in the web page, right, and sometimes images are kind of fixed, right, you cannot do anything, just you can get the property. Sometimes images are kind of link available, so if you click the link, right, sometime it will open that particular images, or sometime it will create a new window as well, right. So images links are the link in web page represented by an image, which when click sometime navigates to a different window or a page. So you cannot use link text or the partial link text for the images. That's the problem, right? Because there can be some link, but that might not work. Sometimes there will be no link. So that is the reason. Please do not go with the link text or partial link text in case any images is there. So always try to use the XPath or CSS, and definitely in case images is not clickable, right? You can get the different attribute, right, or the properties of the images, and you can definitely use them as and when your requirement or based on your requirement. So let's go to the Eclipse and let's try to first let's go to the new web page. Suppose say if you go to the Facebook web page, right, you can see there is a Facebook logo image, right. That is not a static one, right, maybe it is not clickable, so, but I have found that most of the kind of images are static in nature, means no click link is there, kind of read only. So you already seen the first session, right, if you press F12 button at the same time from your keyboard, right, your element locator or element inspector options will be open, right. This is the inspector, right. Select the element in the web page to inspect your inspector button available, right. If you click on that, even if you mouse over on the element, right, you will able to get the properties in the right hand side, right. So if you select the images, Facebook images, you could see the tag name, that first thing is called tag name. So tag name is starting with img, then class is there, src is there, alt is there. So suppose if you want to try with class, sometime it might not work, right. In case you have, that is fine, but that tag for the images will be always img or src. So by that tag you can easily identify that is images, img or src tag is for images, right. So let's first try to create a project in the Eclipse, right. Already project is there, Selenium August 2022 batch. After the project is created, you need to associate your Selenium jar file, right. This is already associated. After that, in the src folder you will be creating a package, right, training, and there you can create multiple classes, right. So I already one class is already created, session 1. So for today's session I will be creating another class called session 2. So you need to select the package, and you need to right click here, and after that you need to click a create on the new class option, and then you can create a new class. One, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that is the reason I already mentioned in the first session, right? I'll be showing you one approach where you can use multiple properties. Suppose say class name, ID, or name. You can use it. In case the name is getting changed, it will still try to go with the ID, yeah, or it will go with the class or XPath. In case everything is failing, then it will be able to fail the result. But that is the reason I already mentioned in the first session, right? That regular maintenance of the script is required. Otherwise, automation will be big failure. Yeah, regularly you have to run it. At least every month you have to run it, and every month you have to fix your code. Otherwise, you will not get the real-time benefit for the automation script, because the something will get changed definitely. Because for the web page, right, some field can be removed. So forget about these things. Some field can be removed, right? Some of the field can be removed, some of the field can be added. Then your script will never fail. Okay. So yeah. So that is the thing. So I'll be creating a new class called session2, and I'll be definitely selecting the public static void main. So first I need to set the properties, right? So I'll be copy pasting the code whatever we have written already for the session 1, right? So this is the part, right? I need to copy it. There is no change. So that is the reason I'm not writing anything new. Hey, and after that, so system.setProperty webdriver.chrome.driver, and this is your Chrome driver path till the exe file, right? So this is the Chrome driver I already downloaded. So in case you still having doubt, right, go through my videos please. And this is the Chrome driver. If you go right click here, right, and you can get the path, and then you need to give the extension Chrome driver.exe file also. So this is the path, and then slash Chrome driver.exe file, you need to give the complete path of the Chrome driver. After that, we will be creating an object or instance for the WebDriver interface. So that is the interface in Selenium, and then Chrome driver is a class. After that, we will be maximizing it, and then we will be loading the page with the help of driver.get, right? Get method. Get is the methods available in the WebDriver. Then suppose this is the images, right? So you already see, in case a particular element, right, we need to use multiple times, right? So we'll be not be hard coding it. Instead of that, we'll be creating a web element, right? And in that reference, web element reference, we can, right, kind of set the kind of either the name, all this stuff, right, export everything, we can use it. So I'll be creating a web element. This is the class, right, available in the Selenium WebDriver. So which I want to inspect, I want to inspect the Facebook image. So I can create variable called Facebook image, right, equal to driver dot find element. I can go with the XPath say. So it will be driver dot find element by XPath, by ID, by link, whatever you want to use it, right? So it will be driver dot find element by XPath. I'll be using by XPath. Driver dot find element by dot XPath. So I will show you. Yeah, web element is a class. Yes, web element is a class. No, I mean for that class I'm creating a variable. I'm creating a variable only. So here WebDriver interface I'm creating a I mean initialize. That is the reason I'm creating a variable only. So that variable I'll be using. Here you are doing it, right, with the help of driver.find element. So you are just loading the properties in the web element class. So you are loading the properties. You are not creating an object or instance. You are creating a reference variable. So that is the difference. You are creating a reference variable and storing in the web element class. And here you are creating an object or instance of the Chrome driver class. So here you already see how to take the default XPath of CSS, right? And click on the triple dot, and then you can click on the copy, and you can copy, right, XPath. So I'll be taking that XPath here. And here I'll be just storing it. So I need to import the web element class. then I can get, there is a get attribute methods available. So with the help of the get attribute method, right, I can get the different attribute of the images. Dot get attribute, right? You can see, try to understand. So I am not writing anything new. So from where it is coming? It is coming from the web element class get attribute method. What is the return type? Return type is string. So that is the reason to return string. Sometime you can store it in string and then you can print it out. Otherwise you can directly print it out with the help of that. So what are the different arguments you want to pass it? Like you can print out class, you can print out src, you can print out alt. So let's print out class. The value will be printed out. Similarly, you can print out the src and alt properties, right? Value, class, and then what is the other properties is there? Src and then alt. Now if you just run your code, so how can you run it? Just right click on the code, right, after the run as or Java application, or there is a run button available, right? Run, and you can run session 2, right? Or you can directly click on the run here also, so the current session will be automatically run. So here it will happen, it will open the Facebook page, it will maximize, or it will open the browsers, it will maximize the browser, it will load the Facebook page, it will identify the property for the Facebook images, then it will with the help of the different attribute, right, it will print out the different attribute corresponding value in the console, right? So let's go to the console and let's see. So this is the class value, right? So if you check it, right, it should get match. What is the class value? FB and hyphen logo and last MAMG, right? So it is matching. Then what is the src? In the last it is wd.svg, right? Right, wd.svg. And what is the alt? Is the Facebook. So that is the way, right? You can get it, and definitely as and when required you can validate it. I will show you in the test engine how you can do the assertion, right? So assertion, definitely whenever you are doing some scripting, right, so your objective is not to from navigate to one to page to another page, it is not, but every time whenever there is a validation, right, you need to validate it whether you expected is working with the actual part or not. So that is the reason, right, in the real time we need to use the assertion to verify the expected with the actual, so that your objective will be met, right? You will be navigating, definitely navigation wise any problem coming automatically it will fail the test cases at the step, right? And you will get to know what is the reason of failure, then you can analyze it and you can log a defect. But in case you are adding some verification point, right, as well, so your test case might fail, right, in case it is not matching. Even suppose the dot is not means, it will fail because it's automation, it is not a manual one, right? In manual one, suppose the dot part we can skip it, but here automation nothing will be skipped, it is through the code, right? So even minor thing we can catch it up. So that is the reason, in case, right, automation able to skip, write the desired script, right, with spending some initial time, but yeah, we can get the kind of broader advantage during the multiple run, right? In so we no need to invest manual effort, we will be running our script for every week, every month, every fortnight, like that as and when required, and definitely we can get to know whether my script is working fine, whether any kind of BO regression kind of any kind of error is coming due to the other fixes, so you can differently report it and we can make them fix. So that is the reason you will be writing your script one time, after that you will just simply maintaining it, but maintenance is need to be done, otherwise there is no point of automation. Because suppose today you have created 100 script and you did not maintain it on regular basis, like monthly basis, right, after 6 months, 1 year time, whenever you will be able to run the script, you will see that 95% script is getting failed. It is not because of the defect, but because of the thing that your some of the element locator technique value change got changed, some of the field got modified, removed, deleted, added, like that. So definitely it will be failed. So that is the reason in real time, right, guys? So you need to, whenever you are doing the automation, you need your responsibility to, until you are kind of you need to maintain it, you have to maintain it on regular basis. So the next thing is that what are the different we can perform on the kind of checkbox as well as radio button. So you already know what is the difference between checkbox and radio button. I no need to say it. Still, right? If you go to the URL, this is the URL. So you can see there's a radio button and there's a checkbox. So what is the difference? So radio button you can select only one. If you go to the other option, automatically first will be unselected. But for the checkbox, right? You can select or unselect multiple checkbox from the list of options. So that is the basic difference. Otherwise, operation wise also, right? It will be still same. So for the checkbox, you can check or uncheck it. It will not impact the other, right? But for the radio button, if you select option 1 and after that if you select option 2, so option 2 will be selected and option 1 will be automatically unselected, because from the radio button you can only select a single value, right? Single option from the list of option. But for the checkbox, you can select all the box or you can unselect all the checkbox. So that is depend on you. So let's comment out this line here. So you need to select the line. After that, you need to go to the source. You need to add block comment. So you should not remove it, right? Sometime you can use it again. So that is the reason better to comment out. You can get to analyze your code. You can share with someone, right? They can analyze it. So that better to give the comment. So I'll be just opening the URL. That is the URL. I need to open it. So I'm changing the URL here. After that, let's first try with the radio button. So I'll be creating a web element. So how many options is there? So variable name also you give suitable so that you can easily understand, right? So option 1 radio button. So I can give it radio 1. That is my variable equal to driver, right? What is the different kind of properties of the web element locator value is available? So you can press F12 button again, right? After pressing F12 button, right, you can inspect all the options, right? Whatever is required, right? Then you can get the desired element locator value. Right here you can see here. Yeah, you can see input type is radio, name is waveform, ID is date, value is this, right? So definitely ID is element locator technique available. So first thing is that you need to make sure that whether it's unique or not. So copy the ID, press Ctrl F and paste it, and make sure that it is showing 1 of 1. Otherwise, in case it is showing 1 of 3, 1 of 4, right, your thing might not work. So every time you need to make sure that whatever element locator techniques you are using, corresponding value is unique in nature throughout the page. Otherwise your script will not work, because in case other option is there, so automatically it will try to identify that option. So instead of radio button, it is a kind of input box, right? So kind of select will not work, so it will be send keys. So that is the reason. Make sure that your element locator techniques value is unique in nature for that particular page. So here ID equal to that one, right? So I'll identify with the help of ID, driver dot find element, right, by dot ID. So what is the ID? I can give the ID. So now I already created the radio reference, right? This web element reference radio. Then what are the different operations we can do, right? We can do check whether it's displayed or not radio button, whether it's selected or not. First thing is we will check whether it's displayed at all or not. After it's displayed, whether we will validate whether it is automatically selected or not, right? Whether it's enabled or not. In case it is enabled, not selected, displayed, then only we can select it, right? Otherwise we cannot select it. Okay. So we will see one by one. So we'll be using SYSO. So you want to print it out, the different value. First one is displayed, dot is displayed. So it will be true, definitely displayed only, right? Then is displayed, is selected. No, it is not selected. Initially it was false. It will be false only, right? After that is dot is. You can press is, then you can see enabled. So it will be true definitely. After that it will be selecting, right? After validating, by default part you will be selecting, so radio dot select click, sorry, dot click, that is the operation, it will be selected. After that, if you want to check whether selected or not, then it will be true. Initially it was not selected, but I was selecting it now, so it will be true. So let's try to run the code and let's see how it is behaving. So it will open the page, right? Then it will try to select the option 1 after the page is fully loaded. So sometime it will require to see whether the page is fully loaded or not. Once the page is fully loaded, then you will select the option 1 and you will get the all the you can see select option 1 got selected, right? Now if you go to the console, right, you will able to see it was displayed yes, is selected no, it was false initially. Is enabled yes, and after it is selected, then you can see the output is coming as true. So that is the way, right? If you would require the other option selected, so you can just save it in the web element, right, other web element, right, and then you can just click, in case your option selected, automatically option 1 will be unselected, like that, right? So that is the different part you can do it for the area button. Let's see for the checkboxes. So similar way, for the checkboxes I already mentioned, right, you can select or unselect multiple checkboxes based on your requirement, but for area button only it will be only one select. So I can create called checkbox 1 variable name, right, and here I will inspect, right, what is the different properties available for that one. So if you go to the checkbox 1, so what is the thing, id is vfv hyphen 6 hyphen 0, so I can just update it here. Similar way I can check whether checkbox 1 is displayed, whether checkbox 1 is selected, whether is enabled, or whether is again after clicking whether is selected or not. So same way, but difference is that in case there is a 4 checkbox, right, in case you are giving some online assessment, right, in case there is a multiple answer, right, there will be checkbox, so that you can select multiple checkbox. In case it is only one option, it will be radio button, so either A, B, C, D, anyone you can select it, but not all at the same time. But in case it's checkbox, right, for multiple options, you can select all the options, right, or 1 or 2, 3 or like that. So that is the difference in the real time as well, right? Now let's try to run your code and let's see how it is behaving here for the checkboxes as well. It will open again the same page. It will, once it will wait for the page to be fully loaded, after that it will identify the checkbox 1, then it will select on the checkbox, so it will be checked. If you again click on that, it will be unchecked, right, then definitely it will be unchecked. So that is the option for the checkbox. You need to click for the first time to check it, you need to click on the again another time to uncheck it. But for the radio button, if you want to uncheck it, you have to select other options, so that automatically the default options, or in case you was already selected one, it will be unselected. So it is working fine. And here in the console, same way, right, it is, you can getting the desired requirement also, desired output, right? So that is the thing, you can validate it out, guys, in the real time as well. So for the radio button, same thing, and for the checkboxes also same thing, but yeah, for the checkboxes you can select or unselect it, right? So if you want to select it one time, if you want to unselect it, you can again need to select it, so that automatically will be unselected. So any questions? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, then you need to create right here web element 2, 3, like that. Checkbox 2, what is the checkbox 3, right? What is the different properties? Let's see. uh Okay, hyphen 1, hyphen 2. Okay, hyphen 1. So you need to click one by one. In case the checkbox or radio button, because it will fall under the same mother element, right? Mother group, right? So definitely most of the properties will be still same. Only some value will be changing only, guys. So that is the easiest part you can see. In case anything is identified ID, other will be also identified by the applicable by the ID or name or class name or CSS like that. So whatever is the default, right? You could see now it will be checked all the checkbox once the page is fully loaded. Okay, is it working? Yeah. Similarly, again, if you want to uncheck it, again you need to click one more click. Then it will be unchecked. Yeah. So, guys, any other questions from this three topic? Okay, cool. Then next thing is that suppose there is a drop down field. The first questions will come. Before that, I will be also letting you know how can I understand the checkbox or area button, right? You could see tag name is starting with input, type equal to checkbox, right? In case it's a radio, right? Right? It will be tag in the tag name will start with still input and type equal radio. So that is the reason I was telling, right? From the name and in tag and type itself, you can understand what the element is all about, right? So that will benefit you, right? So that always try to identify the element from these different right, type, input box, all this stuff, tag name, and that will help in the real time also. Okay, so suppose say this is the page, right? You could see this is the Reddit register page, right? And if you go here, you could see there is a lot of drop down, right? There is a country drop down, there is a stay selected drop down like that, right? There is a day, month drop down, right? So if you need to select something from the country drop down, then how we can select it? Because it's a drop down, you have to select some value because there are a hell lot of value. So normal thing will not work here, anything. You cannot click it, right? If you click it, so it will not select anything. You have to select the value. There is 100 options, so you have to select the options, right, from 30. Then how can do it, right? So in the Selenium, there is a select class available. And in the select class, there are a lot of method called select by visible text, select by index, right? Select by I think value, right? And in case also that is very rare combination. There is an option called selective multiple stuff. That is a very rare combination. But in case there is a thing is there, you can select already one, right? You can select multiple, so that only you can deselect other ones. But here automatically in case selecting automatically other one automatically unselected. In case there is only one option, you can select it. But in case there is a multiple option, so you can select and deselect it, right? So that is the reason, right? There is an option called deselect by visible text, deselect by index, deselect by value. And in case suppose you are already selected 5 options, but if you want to deselect everything, so there is an option available called deselect by all. So that is that very rarely used, so you don't need to worry about that. You need to know how you can select the value from the drop down list with the help of this different method. So Selenium already provides select class that has some predefined method for handling dropdown, which help a lot while working with dropdown. To handle dropdown and multi-select list in Selenium, user use the following types of select method already mentioned. So what we need to do? We need to set that select as a class will be creating a, because I need to call the other method as well, right? So here with the help of the select class, with the help of select class I'll be creating an object or instance here. Select class object, right? This is the object we'll be creating for the select class. So how I'll be creating here? So let's try to change the URL here in the Eclipse. Comment it out. Let's change the URL. right? After that I need to create a select class, select class. So suppose I want to select the country, right? This is the country. So I'll be creating an object called country list. That is my object, right? Then equal to new select, and here you need to give the reference, right? So what thing I need to refer it? What is the element reference? Means element locator techniques, whether it's a name, class name, XPath, like that. So I can mouse over to that inspector button and I can see. Okay, you can see the tag name is starting with select also. So in case there is a drop down, right? So automatically your tag name will start with select. You need to expand it, right? After that you can able to see the option, right? So this is the select tags. For the select class, this is the option, right? The value is there, right? This is called text. Label means text, and index mean it will be starting with 1 2 3 4 5, like that, right? So index 0 means India, 1 means American Samoa, right? 2 means Andorra, 3 means Angola, like that, right? So first I will try to get the right ID, because this is the ID is unique here. Let's try to see whether it's ID is unique or not, right? Country. So there can be multiple thing, but you could see the ID is unique. ID equal to country equal to unique. Here ID equal to country, so that is different story. So ID will be, and that is also country dot png. That is not a, here heat underscore country, right? Here class equal to country, right? But here ID equal to country. Other country is there, but that is not fine. But ID equal to country is unique for the page. So definitely I can get identify with the help of the ID. So driver dot find element by dot id. What is my id? That is my id. I already created object, for instance, for the select class. I need to import the select class. From where I will be importing it, right? org.openq.selenium.support.ui package, right? After that, right, whatever is created, if you press it here and if you press dot, right, you will be finding all the method, right? Select all, select by index, value, visible text. You can select with by index. So I can select by index equal to 3, right? So fourth element will be selected. What is the fourth element here? First element is India, second one is American Samoa, third is Andorra, and then fourth is Angola, right? Do not go with the value, so go with the numbering 0 1 2 3 4. That is called index. So Angola, here if you use it, it will be Angola will be selected, right? Then you can wait for some time, right? So thread dot sleep, I can wait for 3 seconds, so that other thing will be working properly, right? So that then you can use country list dot select by, right, value. So what is the value here? Suppose this is a value. If you want 6, so right, if you select, suppose say I want to select 9, so Argentina will be selected, right? So let's value equal to 9, give it 9. So what will be selected? Argentina will be selected. So if you select here Argentina, then again dot select by visible text, right? So here suppose I want to select with the help of label equal to text, that is the text Austria. So that Austria will be selected. So that is the way, right, I can select, right, from the drop down list, right? Now let's try to run the code. Let's see whether the thing is getting working properly or not, whether the select options are getting selected properly or not. Okay, it was not commented out. Okay, so that was the way. In case any problem is there, automatically the error will be coming, and then you can go to that line number directly, right? and you can correct it. So you can see the what is the problem. Problem is the training package dot session to class in the main method, right? This is the line number Java colon 41 means 41 line number pivot means coming. So I can directly go and fix it, right? I think still some problem is coming. Thread dot sleep, right? I have given thread dot sleep, but either I need to surround with try catch block. I need to give some throws declaration. So I'll be giving some exceptions. So similarly here also I need to wait for some 3 seconds so that I can able to see it, right? Now let's try to run it again. So debugging skill will depend on how you are working, right? In case you are working for 5 years, definitely you are debugging skill more and more. So as kind of you have to practice little bit stuff you have to do. So automatically in case of the image, from the error, you can easily understand that is the problem. But it will depend on your experience or your exposure. And now you can see first thing will be selected from the country drop down is okay. Okay, where you can why it is the problem is coming? Can anyone tell me from the error itself? Why the error is coming? From the error. Which line number error is coming? Coming is the line number 18. What is the error? Here you can see clearly mentioned. You may only deselect options of a multi-select, but this is the only one select, so there is no options of deselect it. But I have used deselect by index, so I have to use select by index. So that is the problem I created. So that is the reason at that particular line number, right, 18, the problem came, right? So I objective is to select it, not to deselect. Somehow I use that deselect option. So in case something is problem, based on your debugging skill, you can correct your code and then you can run it. But in the real time, guys, so you need to run your code multiple time, right? Sometime if you run only one or two time, your script might get failed because of the internal problem. So as and when you'll be running them, right, your script will be more and more accurate. It will take also less time. So that is the reason at least you need to run 10 15, 15 some suppose 5 to 10 time dry run before actual run. Angola first selected, after 3 seconds Argentina selected, after 3 seconds last option is Australia selected. Are you able to see it? So that is the way, right? You can select the desired input, right, from the select box drop down. The next thing is, right, my questions will come, right, how I can print all the value, right, and how I can get to know how many options is there. Okay, so there is a method available called get options, right? So let's see how we can use it. So for that one, right, I need to use a list. So list is coming from the Java, where we will be using, right, the we will be trying to get multiple option. So I'll be using list, and then here I need to use web element because I want to get list of web element, and here I can give the country option, that is my variable equal to old variable country list. Then there is a method called get options available, right? This is the option you could see. So no need to write anything, you could see here this is coming from the select class. What is the return type? Return type is the list of web element, right? I am not writing by my own, I am writing based on suggestion it is providing. Okay, it is coming from the select class. What is the return type? List of web element. So that list of web element I am using it, and it is return type variable, right? Country option. So I need to import, sorry, get option, I did not implement it. Country list dot get options, right? I need to enclose, I need to import the list from the Java, because this is the java.util. Then if you want to print it out, so that variable dot what is the size, right, dot size. So you can print out the size. What is return type? Return type is the integer, so it will give you the integer value. So you can get to know how many different options is available from for the particular drop down, and you can validate. If you already know that it is 200, so you can give as a condition that expected is 200 actually. Let's see how many options is coming. So then you can get it, right? Now you can go here. It is coming as 248 for the country drop down. There is 248 drop down, right? You can check like that. Okay, that is the 248 drop down. So definitely it is matching. The next thing is that if we want to print out, right, the values in my console, right, how can you do it, right? So you need to use for loop. So right now no need to concentrate, just see how we can print it out. So I'll be covering from the next session it will be Java only. So next fourth session will be Java, right, so that you can get to know the basic and advanced Java and you can get the confidence. So this is the for loop. It will be starting integer I equal to 0, I less than that option dot size. So it will be like that only. That is the thing. I am not writing, it is the concept of the for loop only. Then I plus plus, then here I can use the country options dot get of I. For every I want to get the text, get text, right? What is the return type? String. From where it is coming, from the web element, so I'll be storing in some string. What is the variable? Oh god, that is the string, and variable is country values. Then I can print it out, right? So it will be SYSO, then the variable. Okay, now let's try to one problem. Okay, it's still variable, right? So there is no bracket because we are printing the variable directly, so it is already stored in the string. That is the reason. Now 248 value will be printed out in the console as well. So if you go to the console, you could see the values getting printed out, right, one by one. It might take some time because there are 248 value. It might take 1 to 2 minute time. Okay, so you could see it is, I think once it is done, it will be stopped. So it is still working, right? Red color is not stopped. Yeah, now it's stopped, means so it printed all the value. So there is 248 value it's printed here. So that is the way, right? You can get all the desired required put as well. 248 starting with India. So it will be same order, right? India, American Samoa, Andorra, Angola, right? Whatever the order was there. So that way, right, you can interact with the drop down classes, guys. I mean drop down values of the select class or the select option. The next topics will be like how we can scroll down or up a web page. So why scrolling is required? So what is the basic conception of the scrolling? Can anyone tell me why you need to scroll the page? Yeah, because sometime your whatever page length is not fitting in the browser, right? So you need to either left, right, up, down. You need to do it to visible the element. So in case your page is not fitting in the window or the browser, right? Then you need to scroll up, scroll down, scroll left, scroll right, like that. So that scroll bar allows user to move around screen in horizontal or vertical direction if the current page scroll does not fit the visible area of the screen. It is used to move the window up and down. So for that, to scroll using Selenium, there is an interface available which is called JavaScript executor, which will help you to execute the method through Selenium WebDriver. So there are three methods available: window or scroll by, through which we can scroll by some particular pixel in the left or right or up and down, right? It will be x and axis pixel we need to give it. In case it is down, we need to give the y-axis. In case it is up, we need to give it negative sign y-axis. If it is right, x-axis positive sign. It is left, x-axis negative sign. So that is the way. Then another method available called window.scroll to, right? So that automatically we can go bottom of the page, right? So with the help of that one. And there's another options available called window.scroll into view. With that one, instead of left, right, or bottom of the page, right, we can directly go to element where element will be visible, so that I can go to the element will be visible, then I can identify the element, I can perform the operation based on the once the element is visible. So these are the three important methods available in the JavaScript executor. So I will show you, right? So this is the page. Also you can see here, this is the page, right? Scroll bar is also available, right? This is the page scroll, right? Top to bottom. But in case there is an option called left to right, also it's not fit, right? Here you will see how you can do the scrolling some pixel or bottom of the page or some element visible, right? So same thing will be there here. Same page I want to load it, then I will be creating a object or instance for the JavaScript executor. This is the interface. So in case it's the interface, I cannot directly create an object or instance, right? Then what we need to do? So we need to, so it will be Java, S will be smaller, JavaScript executor, executor. So say I will be creating object or instance called JAC. So it's the interface, we cannot do the create the object or instance. So I need to typecast the driver object. So that is called typecasting. Okay, so that's why I can create the object or instance for the interface, because you cannot directly create an object or because object interface cannot be instantiated. So I'll be covering the Java, right, from next session onward. So if you need to import it, right? Okay, sorry, that is the thing, I need to change it. Maybe some error was there, so I need to change it also here. So it will give you suggestion in case you are doing some mistake, right? Eclipse will give you suggestion. So I already imported that one, right? So this is the origin or open source Selenium but JavaScript executor. Then after that, right, with the help of the JSC, so you need to copy this line of code here. You no need to worry. This is the fixed line of code to scroll the part. So I'll be just here. I'll be using the same script. So I need to create that variable here, JAC dot same one, same script. So here what will be there? So x-axis wise no movement, means horizontal wise no. Vertical wise I want to move it 100 pixels down. So that is the positive. In case you already want to move it up, so it will be negative sign, but it will be y-axis only. Right? So now let's try to run your code and let's see whether is page is getting loaded and it is getting kind of scroll by 100 pixel from the top to bottom. So it will be open, maximize, page will be loaded. Once it is loaded, it will be moved by 100 pixel. You could see The page is moved by 100 pixel. If you move by 50 pixel, 20 pixel, like that, you can do it, right? The next one will be, I want to move to the bottom of the page, right? Because my bottom of the page is important. I don't want to move by 100 like that. I want to go to the bottom. So top to bottom, directly it will go to the bottom, and top portion will not be visible. So what I need to do, I need to use that one, right? So simple line, you will just copy it. No need to change anything. Okay, it is fixed last 5 years time. Okay, dot that one. So it will go to the bottom of the page, right? Now let's try to run it. So it will open the page. It will scroll into the bottom of the page instead of 100 pixel to 100 pixel like that. Okay, see, its bottom of the page is view, right? Because this is the Colbert, it already went to the bottom of the page. So that is the way, right? You can go to the bottom of the page. The next one, which is very important, because most of the time we'll be using that one only. Because I don't want to go to the pixel, I don't want to go to the bottom of the page, but my objective is that whatever element I want to interact, that element need to be visible. I need to move I need to just kind of browse my scroll bar so that element will be visible, so that I can interact with the element. So how can you do it? That option is called, right, scroll into view, right? So for that I need to create a web element, right? I need to store into sub web element, row web element. So which one I want to interact? Suppose say I want to view that particular link, right? As soon as my link is visible, that is fine. So suppose say term and condition link, right? So I can press F12 button again, and then anything, right? Whatever thing you want to do. As soon as it is visible, that is fine. So I want to kind of browse, kind of move the scroll bar in that, so that that option will be visible. So it is a link, right? Now what is that thing? Text. So I can go with the link text. So web element, what is the link name? Term and condition link, T and C link. So that is the thing I can store it, equal to divert dot find element by dot link text, right? Then I will copy part, copy the line of code here, jc dot. So here instead of element, you need to give the element name, element reference. That is the thing you need to do. Now if you just run it, after that, once it is moved, right, I can click on that element, right? So that it will be visible, and then I can easily click it. Otherwise, right, initial time it was not visible. So in case you want to click it, sometime it might work, but most of the time it might fail, because your element is not fit into the initial 100% zoom or some initial load. So you need to go to the next page, right, or next kind of, you need to scroll bar something, right? Scroll your window to get that desired field within the page. Then once it is visible, I can going to the element directly, right? Then after that I can definitely click it, so that it will not never there is no chances of failure of that operation. So you could see it is able to navigating, and it is clicking on the element, term and condition, right? So that is the way, right? These are the different thing. It's important. Why it is important? In case you are not kind of fitting it, right, you want to perform some operation, that will fail, because that 100% zoom, right, that element is not visible, and that will fail it. So that is the reason. These are the three important methods already available in the JavaScript execute interface, and that is might be sometime it will be required, right, in the real time framework as well. then I will go to the last two modules, which is very crucial, especially for the Selenium, right? So is XPath, which is nothing but the exponential path, and one is the CSS selector. So you already see in the first session there are 8 different element locator techniques available, right? Starting with ID, name, tag name, class name, link text, partial link text, CSS and XPath. So in case the first 6 is available, right, you can definitely do it. But sometimes first 6 might not be available in some of the page, or it's available but it might not working. Then you have to create your own XPath or customized CSS selector, right? So XPath might be kind of little lengthy, it might be difficult, but CSS might be easy, but some sort of backdrop is also there. So XPath is defined as XML path. It is syntax or language for finding an element on the web page using XML path expression, right? So how we'll be doing it? You need to go to the HTML DOM or document object model structure, then you will be creating an XPath, right? So I already mentioned, in case some of the ID name is available but not working or not available, then we will go for the XPath or CSS. In XPath, there are three primarily XPath is available. One is the relative XPath, one is the absolute XPath, one is the partial XPath. So what is absolute XPath? So I am giving you a simple example. Suppose say myself Haradhan, I am staying in Kolkata, right? My address is, suppose say my zip code is ABC, my flat number is this, my floor number is this, like that. So suppose someone want to travel from the Delhi, right? So what is the path? So he will go to Delhi, right? He will catch a train or the kind of flight, will come to Kolkata, then he will come to my cheap address, postal address, will go to my address, then my complex society, then my kind of block, right? Then my floor, then my flat, and then my room, like that, right? So that is called absolute XPath, but it is not recommended to use the absolute XPath. Suppose say today I have given my address, tomorrow my address got changed, so I am not here. You are traveling there, but you are not able to kind of find me. Or suppose say now it is happening, right? Some of the kind of street name, state name, district name is getting changed, but still you are using all different, so you are not able to find me. And what is partial XPath? Partial XPath means, suppose say you are already in Kolkata, or you are already in my kind of street, so there is no point of traversing from Delhi to Kolkata to my jeep address. So that is partial part will work for you for that particular day. So that is called partial XPath. But relative XPath is really important because it will never change, but might be changed, but it's a very less chances to change. So that is the reason relative XPath will be very important, guys. Okay. So suppose say instead of my flat address, if you want to track me by my mobile number, right, you can track me easily, right? So that I can, suppose say right now I am in Kolkata, and after 5 hours I can go to Delhi, so you can track my live location, like that. So that is called relative XPath. So relative XPath are mode starting with slash, single slash, double slash, whereas absolute XPath will starting with the first slash. So that example you are able to understand, then you will never forget the concept of the XPath, guys. Is it clear or any more doubt? Because the concept is very required. Okay, so in real time also we will never touch the absolute XPath or the partial XPath. We will go always for the relative XPath. But that kind of stuff, right, in the interview also might come. Okay, so that is the reason I am trying to cover it. So basic XPath, like in case some of the attribute is there, but with the help of that attribute I can create the XPath. I can create the XPath with the help of content. So I will show you what is the important content. Sometime with some ID, right, I am not able to uniquely identify it. So I will require two parts, right? Suppose say here two person is taking the training called Ajay and Ajay. In case I am saying Ajay, two person will raise your hand like Ajay, but in surname might be different. So I am saying Ajay Singh, and another person can be Ajay Mishra, right? So that in case I am saying Ajay Singh, so that particular person will respond me, right? So that is the reason two first name and last name might be required. Similarly, or and a person might be required. Sometimes or means, so yeah, I am giving multiple reference, right? In case my option 1 is not working, I will go for the option 2. In option 3, like that, right? In case nothing is working, then it will be problem. Text, sometimes in case I having text, right, I can use it. Start with, if I know that suppose there is a kind of two part, right? Part 1, part 2. Part 1 is fixed and part 2 is dynamic in nature. So I can go with the start with for the fixed part. So that is the different way I can create my own XPath. So that is the way I will show you how you can create your own XPath. So before that, let's try to see the real-time challenges. So why XPath will be created? In case there is no id class name, right, you can create our XPath. Otherwise, sometime this thing is there, but might with this thing, right, I am not able to identify the element properly. So driver dot find element. So in the ready page, say I want to enter some value in the full name field, right? So here you can see name is there, other no field is there, right? Name, class name, id, partial link test, so only name is there. So name is there, but name is an element locator technique. So let's try to identify the element name with the help of the name. So driver dot find element by dot name. I am giving the name. Then is a drop text field. I can use send case. I can use my name like Haradhan. Pal. I want to add it, right? Let's try to run the code and let's see whether it's running or not. So name is there, and I am just simply copying the name field, right? Value, because name is a element locator technique. ID, name, class name, right? All these things. So name is there, but still it will fail. Let's see. Let's run it and let's see whether it's passing or failing. So that is the reason an XPath or CSS will be playing a pivotal role. You could see there is nothing added, right? And if you go to the console, error message is there. So which line error? 19 number line, right? So that is not getting entered. What is the error? Error is no such element, right? Unable to locate element means whatever name you are giving, it is not able to identify it. So why it is not working? Can anyone let me know? Why the name value? I am just simply copying paste, not I am not changing it or not writing, but still it is not working. Why it is not working? Yeah, right. So here there is a two part, name part and this is the other part. That part is dynamic in nature, but name part is constant, static in nature. So every time dynamic part is getting changed, right? So instead of 0 it will 2 1 like that. So it will never match in the real time, never match. Every time it will fail. So I do not have any other properties here apart from the name, right? I have on broad, type, max length and style, but Selenium will not recognize those as element locator technique. So I can go by default CSS XPath like that, but definitely I will not go because sometime it might create problem. So I'll create my own XPath or CSS. So how can I do it? In case those are the thing is fixed, I can simply do it with that single thing, right? Slash slash tag name, then third bracket @ attribute name equal to value. But in case your value is not matching, in case I can go with the start with here, because start with part name is common, right? So I'll create XPath here with the help of that slash slash tag name. So how can you create XPath? Press Control F, give, right, what is the name, right? Start with name. So what is the tag name? Tag name is input here, right? Give slash slash input, third bracket, right? I'll be using here starts with hyphen with, then here @ attribute @ name, comma, with value equal to start value name. You could see one element is being displayed here, right? And if you enter here, it is highlighting the full name field. So that means with the help of the XPath, my own customized XPath, I am able to create the XPath of the element and it is visible now, right? One of one. Still, if you want to validate it, right, you can go to the console. I have already mentioned. Let's see it's working or not. So you can give dollar here, then X, then bracket, double quote, give the XPath, end. You could see one input is coming, right? If you expand it, we need to press enter. You could see input. How many element? One. And if you go to the input, its field is also getting displayed, right? So that is the way you can create your XPath. Now if you take the XPath and if you change it here, so it will be XPath, and you just change the value. Let's see it's working or not. So your script will be never fail. So whenever this kind of element locator is not available, right, or available but some static and dynamic part is there, you cannot create identify the element uniquely, because dynamic part will always change. So that is the reason, based on the different part, right, either you can go with start with contents or text, right, or you can directly go with multiple of thing also, then you can create your XPath. You can see now Haradhan part is getting entered, right? So that is the way you can create your own XPath. The next thing is that in case you are directly having the attribute, right? So let's go to the other page also. So let's go to the Facebook page. Let's try to create XPath here. So here, suppose I want to create XPath. So here name field is their email, right? So I can, with the help of that email ID, I can create XPath. Let's press Ctrl F. So what is that? / input, right? Third bracket, simple XPath, @name equal to email. You could see one of one, right? Or ID equal to thing. Or if you want to give multiple, right? Sometimes multiple, right? And so single thing is not able to uniquely identify it. So 2, 3 is working, right? Coming in. So you can use and. So here ID, name and ID I can use it. Name and @ID equal to the value equal to again email. Okay. So 1 second, email. Okay, you could see with the AND operation it is working, right? But similarly both are unique, so that in case one might get changed, so you can use OR, right? You could see OR, so that and all like that, right? And means in case you are not able to uniquely identify with any one properties, so you need to use combine multiple reference, so that you can usually identify, just like the name, right? Name, first name might be common, so first name plus last name. Or means, suppose say I Kolkata is unique, right? Or maybe you can know by the name of Kolkata, or suppose say Howrah Bridge, right? So by the name of Howrah Bridge, right, you can know that is a Kolkata only, right? So either you can keep the Kolkata, or you can give the reference called bridge equivalent to Howrah or city equivalent to Kolkata. So either will be working. So tomorrow Kolkata is renamed to other part, but Howrah Bridge might not be renamed, right? Bridge will be there. So in case other part is getting changed, so other part is still remain with there, so you can identify the element. So that is called OR. Okay. So already the attribute start contents also, right? Suppose in case your middle portion is fixed or your last portion is fixed, so you can use contents, right? And if in case your start portion is fixed, you can go with start with. Okay. Then I will show you, in case you need to create XPath for the link, then how you can create it, right? Suppose say this is the link, right? Forgotten password. I want to create XPath for the link. This is the link. Then how can I identify it, right? So what is the tag name? Link anchor. So I need to give a, and this is the text. So it will be anchor link. Anchor link. How we can give the text here? So it will be third bracket text, no at the rate sign, text equal to value of the text. Okay, you could see one out of one unique element is being displayed. So that is the way, right? You can create your own XPath. In case one of one is not visible, so you need to create an operation. You need to see. Just you need to apply thought process, right? I cannot make you confident, right? You need to just practice it, and then you know that what is the different properties is there, right? So then that way, right, you can identify uniquely the element. Then you can create your own XPath, right? And then after it is done, then you can just interact with the element based on the element type. In case it is a drop down field, you can select it. You can, it's a text field, you can do it. Radio button, right? Image, all this stuff you can do it. So that is the different kind of stuff from the XPath. Then I will go to the CSS. So similar way, approach is similar. In case my other attribute is not there or available but still not working because of the static and dynamic part, I'll either create my own XPath or my own CSS. But CSS might be easier. So some of the company might be use CSS, but CSS some problem might be there, right? Sometimes called forward axis is reverse is not possible, or text is not possible. Okay, for the XPath, like only start with available but no end with option available. But for CSS, start with, end with, contents 3 are available, right? And for the CSS, it's very easy to create it. So CSS selector are the string pattern used to identify an element based on a combination of HTML tag, ID, class, and attribute. Locating by CSS is the most common locating strategy of advanced Selenium user because it can access even those elements that have no ID, no name, class name, like that. Okay, why CSS is used? It is faster, more readable, and sometimes most of the organization, most of the customer, right, use the CSS instead of XPath as well. So what is the difference between CSS and XPath? So you see XPath, we can go from the parent to child, child to parent, but using CSS only we can go to the parent to child, not from the child to parent. CSS is very easy to write compared to XPath. CSS is faster. CSS selector does not allow to create selector based on the text content, whereas XPath allows. So that is some limitation. So how we'll be doing it, right? So CSS, you can see, if you want to create it, HTML tag, then if there's a ID, right? How easily you can do it? Hash and then the ID. So suppose say for the name field, I want to create it. Sorry, the email field, I want to create a CSS. So here it is already email name equal to email, ID equal to there, right? ID is there. So I will be using tag name. What is the tag name? Input, right? So there is no need to give slash slash. So tag name input, then hash sign, then the ID. We could see one of one. How easily we are able to create the XPath, right? Then if you know the class name, right? Tag name dot class. So that is the way you can create it. So in case any class is available, right? Then in case any attribute is available apart from the other thing, right? You can use tag name. There is no at the rate sign also, and there is no single quote. So suppose say here input name or ID equal to email. You can see how easily you can create it, right? So that is the very easiest way we can create, but there is a limitation called kind of text field or the child reverse. We cannot do it. So that is the thing. The problem is there, right? Here you can see some advantage also there, right? Start with, end with, contents. So end with also there for the CSS where XPath is not there, right? So start with. Suppose say I'll go to the again ready page, right? Here name is there, start name with starting with name. So I can create a XPath CSS. So it is starting with input tag name, right? Then attribute, then that sign equal to prefix, then third bracket, right? What is the attribute? Name was the attribute. What is the sign I need to give it? That sign equal to start with, right? Name, end with. You can see one of one, right? Or if it is content, right? Contents also you need to give star part. So it will be same way. It will be content means middle portion. So here it is not uniquely identified, right? So that's the problem. So here two element, because there is a mother name also there, right? So for the mother name, if you give it mother name, then it will be uniquely identified, right? You can one of one, right? Or if you want to go with the end with part, where the last part will be constant in nature, other part will be volatile, so you can go with the end with, where it will be nothing but that dollar sign, right? End with. In case you want to create the multiple option, you can use attribute 1 equal to value, attribute 2 equal to value. Suppose here I want to create multiple attribute, right? So email ID and name equal to email. Anything is fine, will work. So that is the different, right, kind of way you can create your own XPath or own customized XPath or CSS selector, right? So I will take any questions. Let me revise the thing whatever we have covered in today's session. So I have tried to cover what are the different operations you can perform the images, right? So images sometimes can be static, or sometimes can be if you click it, right, some link can be open or some window can be open. But you, with the help of the get attribute, you can get the different attribute of the images. And for you can check whether the checkbox or radio button is displayed or enabled, selected, or right. After that, if you want to select, right, you can click on that one. And if you want having a drop down field, right, so there will be tag will be named select by default. So with the help of select class available in Selenium WebDriver, right, with the help of select by index, select by visible text, select by value, you can select the option from the drop down, right? If you want to scroll up or scroll down a page, right, you need to use JavaScript executor, and there are a lot of important methods available. Window.scroll by, you can scroll by for some pixels, right? Window dot scroll to, you can go to the bottom of the page. Window dot scroll into view, you can go to a particular element, right? And XPath and CSS, in case suppose say there are no kind of relevant properties available called name, ID, class name, all this stuff, then you can go with the XPath or CSS. Sometimes these are available, but right, something of because of the static and dynamic component, right, you are not able to uniquely identify it. So that definitely you need to create your own XPath or CSS, so that, because the first thing is that you have to identify the element. Once the elements are identified, then you can do whatever operation you can do, otherwise you cannot do it. So that is the reason, in case something is not working, you can go with the XPath or CSS. In case CSS is not working, but definitely XPath will be there most. Okay, so there is a relative XPath, absolute and partial XPath, but you should always believe on the relative XPath, because relative XPath will never change, maybe very less chances of the changing, right? We can create the XPath with multiple properties, right, with the kind of text, with the start with the contents word. Similarly, CSS also we can do with the help of the start with, end with, multiple attribute, right, ID, class name, or different attribute also. So that is the different thing, right, I have tried to cover from today's session, guys. Thank you.